What if the secrets to our past, and perhaps our future, are not buried in forgotten tombs or lost to the depths of the sea? What if they are hidden in plain sight, etched into the very stones of our most ancient monuments, dismissed by many as mere decoration? Welcome. Today, we journey into the shadows of history, to pull back the veil on forgotten symbols and the astonishing power they once held. Look around you. Symbols are everywhere, a silent language we use every day. But the symbols of antiquity were different. They weren't just letters or logos. They were conduits of power, keys to understanding the cosmos, and tools for shaping reality itself. From the sun-drenched temples of Egypt to the mist-shrouded henges of Europe, our ancestors encoded their deepest wisdom into these enigmatic forms. Let's begin in ancient Egypt, a civilization built on a foundation of sacred geometry and symbolism. Consider the Ankh. We see it everywhere, a cross with a loop on top. Most know it as the symbol for life. But this is a shallow interpretation. For the initiated priests, the Ankh represented the unification of opposites, the masculine and the feminine, the earthly and the divine. The loop symbolized the eternal, cyclical nature of existence, while the T-shape below represented the material world. To hold the Ankh was to hold the very key to the gates between worlds, a tool for harnessing the life force that flows through all things. It was believed to influence health, grant longevity, and even guide the soul through the perilous journey of the afterlife. Was it just a belief, or did they know something we've forgotten? Now, let's travel east, to the Indus Valley, where the swastika was born thousands of years before it was infamously corrupted. In Sanskrit, swastika means conducive to well-being. This ancient symbol, found across countless cultures from Hinduism and Buddhism to the indigenous tribes of the Americas, is a map of cosmic motion. Its arms represent the four cardinal directions, the four seasons, the four elements. Its rotation signifies the dynamic, ever-turning wheel of the universe, the constant cycle of creation and dissolution. It was a symbol of good fortune, prosperity, and the perpetual motion of the cosmos. Meditating upon it was said to align one's own energy with the harmonious rhythm of the universe, bringing balance and luck. A simple cross with bent arms, yet it contained a complete cosmology. But not all powerful symbols were so complex. Consider the simple spiral, one of humanity's oldest and most universal markings. We see it carved into megalithic tombs, like Newgrange in Ireland, dating back over 5,000 years. The spiral is the signature of nature itself. We see it in the unfurling of a fern, the shell of a nautilus, the arms of a galaxy. To our ancestors, it represented the journey of life, death, and rebirth. Moving inward on the spiral was a journey into the self, into the subconscious. Moving outward was an expansion of consciousness, a return to the source. These ancient stone carvings weren't just art. They were likely ritualistic maps, used in ceremonies to guide consciousness through altered states, to navigate the labyrinth of the soul and emerge reborn. They were portals, etched in stone. Let's turn our attention to the Ouroboros, the serpent or dragon eating its own tail. This powerful symbol of infinity and cyclicality appears in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Norse mythology, among others. It represents the eternal cycle of renewal, the concept that the end is also the beginning. In alchemy, the Ouroboros symbolizes the prima materia, the formless base matter from which all things are created. It signifies that everything is connected in a never-ending loop of destruction and recreation. It whispers a profound truth: within every ending lies the seed of a new beginning, and that all opposition is ultimately part of a unified whole. It's not just a symbol of a snake. It's a diagram of the universe's operating system. And what about the symbols that seem to defy a single origin? The Eye of Providence, or the all-seeing eye, is most famously associated with the dollar bill, but its roots dig much deeper. In ancient Egypt, it was the Eye of Horus, a symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. It represented the divine gaze that watches over humanity, a source of unwavering protection. In Hinduism, it's the third eye of Shiva, the eye of inner wisdom and enlightenment that can see beyond the material world. Across cultures, it embodies the concept of a higher spiritual sight, a benevolent omniscience. Could this persistent symbol be a folk memory of a higher consciousness, a collective intuition that we are part of something much larger, and that we are, in some way, being observed and guided? These symbols were not just passive representations, they were active technologies of consciousness. By focusing on a symbol, by drawing it, by chanting its name. Ancient peoples believed they could attune their own energy to the principle it represented. A warrior might carry a symbol of strength and courage. A healer might use symbols to channel restorative energies. A mystic would use them to bridge the gap between the physical and the metaphysical. They understood that form and frequency are linked, that a specific geometric shape could resonate with a specific universal energy. Why have we forgotten this power? In our modern world, we've been taught to see these symbols as primitive relics, the superstitions of a less enlightened age. We've replaced their profound, multi-layered meanings with simplistic definitions fit for a museum plaque. We've flattened a multi-dimensional language into a two-dimensional alphabet. But the power isn't lost. It's merely dormant. The resonance of these symbols is still felt today, even if unconsciously. Architects still use principles of sacred geometry to create spaces that feel harmonious and uplifting. Artists embed ancient symbols into their work to evoke deep, primal emotions. Even in branding, the most effective logos often tap into this ancient symbolic language to create a powerful connection with us. The knowledge is still there, vibrating just beneath the surface of our awareness. So, how can we reconnect with this forgotten power? It begins with a shift in perception. Look at these ancient markings, not as dead artifacts, but as living keys. When you see a spiral, don't just see a swirl. Feel the energy of expansion and contraction. When you see an ancient cross, consider the intersection of different planes of existence. Study them, meditate on them, draw them. Allow yourself to feel their resonance in your own being. You may be surprised by the insights and shifts in consciousness that occur. The secrets of our ancestors are not locked away. They are offered freely to anyone with the eyes to see and the mind to understand. These symbols are a legacy, a timeless library of wisdom encoded in the simplest of forms. They remind us that the universe speaks in a language of pattern and form, and that we, as part of that universe, have the innate ability to understand it. The journey to unlocking the power of these forgotten symbols is ultimately a journey back to ourselves, to the deep, ancient wisdom that resides within each of us. Thank you for joining me on this exploration into the hidden world of ancient symbols. The past is speaking to us, in a language older than words. All we have to do is learn to listen again. If this journey sparked your curiosity, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the forgotten corners of our world. Until next time, keep questioning.